Welcome to Identity Matters. This is episode number 9. Why it feels so bad when we take things personally.
Welcome to Identity Matters with Dr. Kathleen Perry. Join in to explore one of life's big questions. Who am I really? The Identity Matters podcast will show you that you are and always have been innately whole and worthy just as you are. So slow down, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hey there. Welcome back to Identity Matters. I'm your host, Dr. Kathleen Perry. And today's episode is another episode that I dug up from the archives. Something that I recorded almost 2 years ago, and at the time thought, this isn't worth publishing, posting in the podcast. But as I listened back, there's really something there I think you're going to enjoy. So let's just jump in. Do you ever find yourself taking things really personally and wishing that you hadn't? We're going to discover today in our exploration what is really underneath that yucky feeling when we find ourselves taking things personally. So a good example of this was a conversation I had with Stephen, a client of mine who was a very successful engineer by all means. And he was in the midst of working on a big project, and he and a coworker were heading it up. The coworker said to him at one point, Stephen, I think the proposal that you've got so far just needs to be trashed and you need to start from scratch. And so Stephen told me, I knew it was really about the thing, but I still took it personally. When my colleague said that to me, it felt like a punch in the gut. And what Stephen said was, I know that I'm a successful engineer. I know that all the experience I have, makes me a good person. I know that I'm capable, and 99.9% of the work I do is exceptional. And this proposal, I ended up agreeing with the guy, was worthy to just ditch it and start over. So 2 things I want to pull out of that. One is that it was great that Stephen saw the comment wasn't about him. It was about the actual proposal. And that's great. But on some level, Stephen found himself being defensive by saying, I know I'm better than that. I know that I don't have to take it personally because I am a successful engineer. I've been doing this for 25 years. I have a strong enough ego so that I can realize that it isn't about me. It's about the actual proposal that he was suggesting that I do over again. And yet, wrapped up in all of that is Stephen's story of me. And believe me, we all do it. We all construct, meaning that we build up a personality, an image, we build up a character of a me that honestly lives in imagination, that we can't see, touch, feel, taste. That me really and truthfully isn't who we are. But we are very identified with that. And it is in that identification that we take things personally, because we're coming from the me, the us, the we, as separate individual persons. Now, I'm not saying that in the world of form, there isn't a role that we play and a job happening and actions being taken. All that's happening. But deep down, our essential self is beyond that created, imagined, created in the mind construct, right? Just a character that we've drawn up. And when we're very, very identified with that, and somehow something said doesn't line up with that, we've taken it personally, and we don't feel good. So can you see that? Yes, the comment was about the thing, but on some level for Stephen, the comment was also about him, about really who he thinks he is. And I emphasize that, thinks. So, me too. And recently, I was with a friend, and she had been in some of my programs before, and she loves watching my YouTube videos. So I was at her house, and she wanted to be able to watch some of my YouTube videos on her big screen TV, and it was a smart TV. So she's opening up YouTube, and I said, hey, maybe this will be easier for you. So I grabbed her phone and I said, would you like me to show you how to screencast? So I did that, and that was really cool. She was really excited that now she could just sit there with her phone and pull up YouTube and watch me, the me that I've constructed in my mind. So we're watching one of the videos, and there I am feeling a little bit self-conscious, right? This me character who didn't make a good enough video. I can't believe she's still watching it. Like, I'm living in the story of me while we're sitting there. And really the only thing happening was this beautiful being with a friend, and she's enjoying something. She's watching the video. So I turned to her and I said, shut it off. Let's do something else. And she's like, okay. She was apparently enjoying it. And then she turned and looked me straight in the eye and she said, Kathleen, I don't understand that word construct. When you said personality construct, I don't know what that means. And you use a lot of words that I don't understand. She's a retired school teacher, older than me. She's very smart. But that was her experience. So, and she was sharing feedback with me, and I took it personally. It felt like a punch in the gut. It really, actually, to me, it felt more like a squeezing of my heart. Because my made-up story of me, my personality construct, is that, I care about everyone. I don't want to hurt anyone. And that identity is strong. That me identity. And again, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But it's an identity. And so it becomes under threat if I'm fully identified as that is the totality of me. So when someone says, and she also said, I feel like I don't belong to your club. Referring to my membership, the Explorers Club, that I keep inviting her to. And she says, I don't want to be a part of it because she doesn't feel included. And boy, did I take that personally. So it is about the thing. Back to like Stephen recognized. It's really just about his proposal. He needed to start from scratch. He agreed. He looked at the proposal with just the facts, please, and decided that it was, a good idea to start from scratch. I'm giving a lot of consideration to the words that I use in these podcast episodes, in my YouTube videos. From a neutral, just the facts. Are those words that are going to be helpful to, achieve perhaps an outcome that I'm hoping for? Just being open to that and seeing that we all do that. We all going to be identified with the identity of ourselves that we've created. And when something happens that doesn't line up with that, it can hurt. It can be uncomfortable. And it's also a gift. It's a wake-up call. It's an opportunity to go a little bit deeper and say, okay, is that really actually who I am? Is that actually all I am? And so I would say the next time you find yourself taking something personally, and maybe you feel some sort of a charge, there's some emotion that arises in you. First of all, just notice that and be okay with that. That's what's happening. Nothing's gone wrong. It's okay to feel that. And maybe you will decide to just kind of sit with that and feel it. And at the same time, or at some point, perhaps you want to consider asking yourself this question. Is the me who's taking this personally simply and only a construct? And there I go with the word. An image, an imagined, a mind and thought created set of beliefs and stories, and I'm like this and I'm not like that. Because that's all that is. That isn't the true, actual essence of who we all are, which is pure potential, unlimited possibility, at our core, at our essence, who we already are, always have been. Don't need improvement upon or fixing or being a better engineer so that next time I get the proposal right the first time, or YouTube creator and podcaster Kathleen, who always uses the perfect words. Like, we're beyond that. We're more than that. And that's where we can tap into the learning from the situations of the comment from the coworker about the proposal, where we can look at and hear from people watching YouTube videos and sharing their experience and giving feedback and considering if any of that feedback is valuable. So if it is, and we learn from that, then, as we create again a proposal, a conversation, and for you, it's not a conversation on YouTube perhaps, but a conversation with one of your children, that you get some feedback about the words, the choices of the words that you used, or your body language, or the state of mind you were in when you said the thing that you said that just came through. Oh, okay, we can take a look at that. And we can say to ourselves, we can see that our child, right, said, hey, I was really hurt when you said that. And you, as defined as a parent, or someone who would never, ever, ever say anything hurtful to your child. Well, if you could just let go of that, then it becomes less personal. It's just what happened. It's just what's happening. It's impersonal. It's just what is. It's life happening, unfolding in front of you. And when you can let go to a degree, to the best that you can, of this identity of a me with a story that's fixed, that then, feels those feelings when when what actually happens doesn't line up with that. If you can see that, then you can begin to operate a bit more from this core, this essence of who you are that is capable of responding fresh and new and with unknown and unlimited possible conversations and responses and proposal and YouTubes and conversations with your kids. So you really can look at I took that so personally as a gift, as a just as a little bit of a wake-up call to see what else there is to see beyond the definition and the construct and the built up, the mind created, the thought created conglomerations of stories, and this is how I am, which now gives you the capability to move forward outside of that box and to see if you're less identified with that story of me, what might come through that's way beyond, and is actually the essence of who we are. Thank you for listening to Identity Matters. I hope you found this episode insightful. If you're ready to delve further into this journey of self-discovery and uncover your innate wholeness, I invite you to consider one-on-one coaching with me. Together, we can explore the unique challenges and opportunities in your life or your business or both. And through that exploration, help you align with your true self. To learn more about my coaching services, visit drkathleenperry.com/services.